keep it alive through these lines I write. I keep it live cause I thrive. I might just blow your mind tonight. I'm so hyped, but it's no hype. From this height, it's direct hits on sight. I'm your type, lend me your ears to show you that there's something in me. I'm not giving up, I'm standing right here holding these days hostage, and I'll make this my year. We turning fear into love, and the love's in the air. I love doing this cause nothing compares. Nothing can share that same type of feeling when you feeling them flares. They can't catch it, it's havoc. I rip to a tear, switch the scenario. My stereos, I leave them impaired. Variables start to change and they're all in my range. I just gotta grab it, it's all mathematics. Every step is drastic, I make it fantastic. I'm trying to take your breath away. Asthmatic.
This is live through the stereo. Go and let it blow, blow through the stereo. I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo, stereo. This is live through the stereo. Go and let it blow, blow through the stereo. I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo, stereo.
Yeah, just nod your head with it, so explicit and vivid. Every image is intricate, intimate. I put my all into it, no scrimmage and no rules. I'm a pro tool, hear my heartbeat, beat into the vocals. I'm so loco, lost my mind, oh no. It's ponderoso, dope, so no overdose, cause it's dope, yo. Man, this is house grown, mixed with some milestones. So I let the style flow down like the Dow Jones, bringing it with some foul tones, letting the crowd know we getting loud, so it's eardrum rudiments. Yeah, we bring it rude again. Move, little hooligan. Music for tuning in, full time to the 10. I'm on my clock like I told you. I'm doing this for dreams we pursue.
Well, we've got MSNBC talking about Chris Christie going to a Cowboys game, and Fox News talking about Bill Clinton knows a guy that was in a sex scandal. We are the anti-media radio talking about the real news. This is your host after a week-long absence for the new year, SM Gibson, followed by my co-host,
Dedric Young. How you guys doing tonight?
I'd like to thank you, Dedric. You filled in last week for me.
Yeah, I tried my best.
Y'all did a great job with the show. I was in visiting family. We were down in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas. It was pretty good. We they were doing family stuff. We went by Dealey Plaza and took nieces and nephews down there and got to show them kind of the incident that
that occurred, huh?
That occurred in Dealey Plaza with the sixth floor and the grassy knoll. And
touching moments.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the first time that I had been there, but it's mind blowing every time you go, and just it's since the last time I went, it's really kind of ridiculous what they've done to the area. They've kind of turned it into like Disneyland.
Like Disneyland?
Yeah, it's like there's souvenir shops, and people are out there hustling, trying to make money, and it's really like, get your soda here and get your popcorn here, and you can see where a man got his head blown off and where the country was overthrown, basically. Yeah, it's really kind of sickening, what they've done. They're taking a tragedy, which personally I believe Lyndon Johnson probably had his hand in.
You think he had his hands in it?
I absolutely do, but they turned it into a money-making scheme. And, it's all federally owned, all the sixth floor Dealey Museum and all that.
So, God, they are making money off of it now.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're absolutely.
I haven't been to Dallas in a while, guys. So. Yeah,
they are absolutely making money and profiting off of a guy getting his brains blown out in broad daylight.
So nothing hasn't really changed with our government.
Oh, no, it's just getting worse, if anything else. I mean, forget change. Weren't we promised hope and change, by the way? Whatever happened with that?
Hey, if you know something, while you was gone, we had this new thing going saying, sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's going to be like the new thing this year.
Man, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's the truth. That we should start that. Hashtag sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. But, man, welcome back. I'm happy to have you back.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Lot going on in the news. We actually at the end of the month, I'd like to go ahead and kick off with this. At the end of the month, we it was kind of started off by a conglomerate of people, but our friend Derek Bros, who we're going to have later on in the week to talk about it, has kind of had this great idea where the media has stopped talking about the torture report, the CIA torture report.
Mm-hmm.
And, they start talking about the interview and Seth Rogen or whatever it was. And basically what it is, what we're going to do at the end of the month, on January 31st, we're going to have a National Day of Action to bring attention back to the CIA and the torture report and the entire situation that's been going on, because the media has just dropped it and acting like it never even happened, and it's still going on this day. So I think that's huge and vital that we bring this back up into the lexicon of every day on the news. Now,
because it's just faded away.
Oh, absolutely. It was, there was a...
And to say that, there has been a lot of things going on in the media.
Well, in the news, they were talking about the interview. That's what took over for it, and the Sony hack. And you've got Barack Obama, which at this point everybody knows. It's come out, even in mainstream media, it's come out that North Korea was not behind the hack. They weren't.
Yeah.
And Obama turned around and put sanctions, even though they had nothing to do with it. It's like, really, dude? It's like, we know, people are awake. This didn't 1996 in the Oklahoma City bombing, 1995 in the Oklahoma City bombing.
So more people are more informed, hey, so North Korea is relaying the internet from China, right? They said, oh, well, no, it's the Chinese. Then it's an inside job.
Right. Well, all evidence has dictated that it came from a Sony, inside Sony. That's what all the experts are saying. They know more than I do. And everybody's saying it came from inside Sony, and that North Korea doesn't have the capabilities to have done any of it.
Well, didn't they just get the internet like in 2011?
I know, so the propaganda goes is they don't even have electricity in the entire country for, 8 hours a day. They turn all the lights off and stuff. And
well, we will see, I guess,
right,
before coming all this. But I know it has disappeared.
Well, that's why the CIA stuff disappeared. See, we just got sidetracked on it. That's the power of this propaganda. We're sitting here trying to tell people the truth, and we get sidetracked on this crap. It's important that we focus on the CIA torture report, what our country's doing. They're bombing, they're raping, they're killing. This has happened.
Yes.
And whether you want to admit it or not, it still happened.
And we're still protesting also.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't forget that, guys. And if these protests are taking place in your city, go and lend a hand and participate. Because we need more leaders and more people out there supporting this cause.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you just you show up and you stand there. If you don't want to scream and yell, if you don't want to hold up a sign, that's fine. Just, bodies there on the ground, just so that the powers that be know that people are sick and tired of this. And the more people that are out there, the more attention you're going to get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and start off with our first call for the evening. We've got area code 415. This is your host, SM Gibson, on Anti-Media Radio. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. I just seen this on FB. I was like, oh, shit, that's dope.
Cool, man. What you want to talk about?
So, it's like, people need to, realize that God is real.
Say what now?
People need to realize that God is real.
Absolutely.
And that the government is hiding shit from us.
Oh, absolutely, man. They do it every day. They've been doing it for decades and decades on end now.
It's like it all started with an angel descending from heaven for turning on his creator. And that's what we're doing now.
Right.
We're we're taking the wrong side. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
real crazy.
absolutely. You know, and here's one for you. Here's one that really gets under my skin. A lot of people, especially with like the Fox News and the conservatives, that definitely, you know, talk about God and hold on to the religion, and, you know, and going to church. These are the same people that are calling for us that it's okay to torture people, and these are the same people that are saying, you know, we should go bomb these countries. But they identify with Christianity, but Jesus Christ taught peace, and he taught the exact opposite of those things.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like if you think about it, we're supposed to be like the best country ever, and it's like we're doing the most of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Well, I really much appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much for calling in tonight.
For sure.
Yeah, man, he brought up a really good point, you know, especially with the Fox Newses of the world. And I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today who was a preacher, and we were talking about all this stuff, and he was talking about how basically, you know, we're so divided in Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, and he said that all these people that call themselves conservatives but worship the state are, you know, they're all liberals.
Well,
They're all,
and they all misinformed.
they are misinformed. You know, they've taken to worshiping a flag and an idea that has been intertwined with their faith. All right, we've got one more caller calling in. Let's go ahead and take this, D. Area code 917. Welcome to the Anti-Media Radio. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you? I just wanted to talk about the whole drug administration and the drugs that are allowed to be tested on are, you know, ironically, some of the drugs that'll, you know, bring you to the grave faster than anything else. And, you know, other drugs like, or other alternatives like marijuana for existence are shunned because of its, you know, rep.
Absolutely. So basically, what you're hitting on is, you know, how the pharmaceutical industry is getting involved with everything, and these medicines that are legal, that's okay for everybody to take because they're legal and the doctor's prescribing it for you, and they'll kill you 10 times faster than what is illegal. But, you know, a lot of it has to do with, again, it goes back to state control and how they can control you in your everyday life. And really, then it goes back to money and power.
Yes. Well, hey, Colorado is pushing a campaign this year, like, and costing them like $5.7 million. And it's like
the Good to Know campaign, right?
Yes. Yes. On educating adults on the importance of legalized marijuana.
Right. Which is already, of course, it's already legalized there.
Yes, but just on the benefits of it. And some people saying, hey, what a waste, you know?
Right, because it's already legal, and they're saying...
And they're also making tons of money off.
I find it ironic that they don't do testing on it though. Like they're so quick to, you know, put it down and say, oh no, you know, it can't be used. It's not good. But they don't want to do any legitimate testing on it to verify. Any good scientist knows that when you make a hypothesis, you don't just make the hypothesis. You have to prove the hypothesis. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I don't believe for a second that the government actually believes that marijuana is as dangerous as they claim that it is. I believe that there is a lot of lobbying going on, you know, especially from the alcohol industry, that these lobbyists in the pharmaceutical industry especially are pushing to keep marijuana illegal because that's going to infringe on their business. And that's the last thing they want to happen. And there's a lot of money pushing these false narratives and these false reports saying, oh, it's this, oh, you're going to OD and you're going to be dead and blah, 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 blah.
I've never known anyone to, like, die off marijuana.
No, absolutely not.
Or die from it, you know? Like, have you?
No, absolutely not. No one.
And you have to remember, too, we're talking about, you know, we've got reefer madness. Basically, it's still what it is. You know, it was claimed that all these black people are going to smoke weed and they're just going to rape all the white women. And yeah, that's not.
Oh man, I remember that.
That's the fear behind it. You know, and they've moved. They've changed what they're saying. They've changed what they're saying to scare you, but they're still scaring you.
I mean, that whole idea was created solely to avert the attention of the war I believe they were having on cocaine. The CIA was involved in the cocaine in the cocaine industry. They were smuggling cocaine back into the streets.
Iran-Contra scandal.
Exactly, and then to avert attention from that, they waged war on marijuana, and that's what their whole campaign was that was going to happen.
Absolutely,
everyone was going to go crazy. Yeah, it's all rhetoric. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely, man. Well, you made some great points tonight. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, he made some really good points, and you were hitting on the Good No campaign out in Colorado.
Yeah, man, and this is taking place right after a year after the legalization of on
right. You would think it would go beforehand.
Yeah,
but they're doing it. It seems to be for the right reason.
And it's causing a lot of fuss, because hey, it has done a lot. I've been to Denver lately. Like, hey, it's wonderful things going on. Great people,
right?
And I didn't see too many people walking around looking too stoned or any crime.
Well, crime's plummeted. The percentages of crimes have plummeted. But and that goes back to it's funny. They believe that more laws are going to somehow make things better when the definition of a law and criminal, the more laws you make, the more criminals you're going to have. It's just percentage. It doesn't matter what the law is, good or bad. The more you have, the more criminals you're going to have. They got rid of a law, and now there's less crime. Who would have thought? It's common sense.
Yeah, which, hey, they was banning the use of marijuana before any of that. I'm talking like early days, hemp, all that.
Which is, hemp is the most insane one of any of it. How they've even tied that into marijuana. I know Kentucky's legalized it, and they're able to use it now.
Yeah, so, hey, what are you going to do?
Right.
It's like 22 states or something like that.
Right.
And I know Florida was next in line, supposedly, but it didn't pass.
And it didn't pass. Well, we'll see. Do you foresee the day that it's going to just go completely...
Well...
like the other week, they passed in the small... whatever the word is I'm looking for, of a bill that basically decriminalized medical marijuana federally.
Mm-hmm.
It was in the fine print of a bill. Now, do you see...
Hey, I thought I would never see gas prices under $2 again. So I really don't know.
And when I was in Texas, I was at $1.81.
Yeah. But, we never know. So I know one thing. Any of the states in the Black Belt would never see legalization of marijuana. Not even hemp. Well, probably
Kentucky.
Hemp,
well, Kentucky's done it.
Yeah. Well, Kentucky.
That's still pretty south.
Yeah, but and people catch hell in Kentucky. Kentucky is not a... I wouldn't want to live in Kentucky.
I've actually spent some time there. It's actually a beautiful, beautiful state.
Well, my sister lives in Louisville, which Louisville's awesome.
Yeah, we got one more area code 407 calling in. Welcome to the Anti-Media Radio. This is your host, SM Gibson. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, man, I was just actually calling in. I thought I could listen in and put it on mute and just listen in on you guys. I didn't know I was actually calling in like that.
Yeah,
oh, cool, man. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good. Sorry to bother you, but I can just, is there a way to just sit back and tune in?
Yes, it is. Just, you can either listen to it on UCY TV at TAMR, which is the Anti-Media Radio.
Yes,
okay.
www.ucy.tv/TAMR.
Okay, gotcha. All right, then. I'll just check you guys out there.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. Thanks.
Yeah, we have to get our Twitter feeds going, man, and start putting this thing out there like more. But sorry, guys, and we appreciate you guys calling in.
Yeah, you can follow us on Twitter if you want at the Antimedia1. That's at the Antimedia1 on Twitter, and then D, you can throw out.
Yeah, you can also follow us at DSM Gibson, and you can also follow me at Dedric Young on Twitter. So start following us, guys. We'll keep you guys up to date on the show and, you know, when it's taking place. But I'm happy to have you back, Scott.
I'm telling you, man, I'm glad to be back. You know how the holidays are, that they get hectic and you're running around and doing this and doing that.
And we still pumping the war on cops, I guess, right?
Oh, that is.
Giuliani had a lot to say tonight.
Ooh, that guy.
Dude, they have to be out of their mind. You know, if they're saying there's not a police state taking place, you know?
Oh, it absolutely is a police state.
Are you killing me?
Oh, it's absolutely a police state. Area code 806. Go ahead for Anti-Media Radio. How you doing?
Just fine. I guess this is radio.
What would you like?
What's all going on?
Doing good. What would you like to talk about?
Well, just kids. I saw one of my kids' friends had this on there, and I thought I'd just see what was all going on.
Oh, cool. We're talking about the police state right now.
What you think about
the what?
turning their backs on the mayor in New York? Have you been following?
No, I haven't heard on that one. I'm just keeping up with what goes on in Texas.
What goes on in Texas? What part of Texas are you in?
I'm down by Amarillo.
Oh, very nice. So you're down by the border a little bit.
By the what?
Down by the border.
That's El Paso.
Oh, okay.
That's down that way. We have.
Oh, sorry. Looks like we lost the caller right there.
Sorry about that, caller.
Yeah, sorry about that. Call in again if you'd like. But anyways, back to the police state and what we were talking about.
So they turned their backs on the New York City mayor again.
Yeah, twice.
And not just that, they have also not been doing their jobs. They haven't been writing tickets. They haven't been making any petty arrests. So
it's funny because that's what people want.
Yeah, but I'm talking about nothing has changed. It's not like the crime has skyrocketed.
Oh, I think what this is. My thought on it is they thought, well, we're going to stop performing our duties, and the city's going to fall into chaos, and it hasn't.
Well, hell, it's taxpayers' money. Should we stop paying them?
Well, yeah, of course. If they're not going to do their job.
Well,
but what do? They get paid vacation for killing people.
You're right.
So,
and hopefully this year we can go to another place. We don't have to continue going through the same old thing over and over and over. But it's a lot of other cases that's coming forth.
Right. Absolutely. And you know what? I know we've got some police officers listening to the show, and I challenge all officers out there that when you see something that's wrong, take a stand. That is the true bravery, because I know that the police unions are looking down on you and coming down on you.
But let's talk about who gave the police this power in the first place. The support from the people. Let's get that back.
Well, okay. Let's go back to de Blasio, because it's funny to me how de Blasio was elected by the people of New York City. He was elected by the people. There's not one cop that was elected by the people. They went and applied for a job and put on a uniform, and that's their job now. Okay, they weren't elected by the people, and they've got the audacity to sit there and say, we're what the people want. No, you're not. No, you're not.
The mayor was voted in. Okay?
The mayor was voted in.
But what I'm saying,
I'm not a big fan of de Blasio.
What I'm saying, what I am saying is that the people gave the police, the law enforcement officers, the support from the people, saying, "Hey, let's look after our police officers. Let's take care. Hey, they're protecting us. Hey, not saying all cops are bad,
right?
And some do a great job. And look, and their job is
they're not all bad people. I think the idea of some of them, even the good ones, enforcing some of these laws are bad.
Well, hell, who makes the laws? And who vote on the laws?
Well, you've got Congress, state representatives, the list goes on and on and on. But let's not pretend for 2 seconds that it's the people making these laws, because it's not. It's the corporations making these laws for the most part. You know, we live in an oligarchy. That was already been established by studies.
Yeah. But it's been established, but dude, nothing has changed.
It absolutely.
Okay, I'm saying, like, we need to take the power back.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you know. So you telling me that during normal hours you can just go out and just write tickets, tons of tickets, and now you just cut it off. Say, hey, we're not giving the city any money, and now you turn your backs on the mayor who has given you the opportunity to even.
I say good for them. Let them continue throwing their fit. Let these people not get tickets for stupid stuff.
How can we have our local police forces or law enforcement officers pitching fence? Are you serious?
Like children. And what over what? That's what's even worse. What are they throwing? What are they upset about? Because this all started with Eric Garner, and you got a man on videotape that gets choked out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The chokehold was illegal, and the man doesn't even get indicted. He doesn't even get indicted. Okay? We're not talking guilty or innocent here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people seem to forget. It's like, oh, he's not guilty. You know, this is not about guilt or innocence. This is just try the man for something. Just try
at least
something. Something. It's like you're not even going to, like, there's no accountability. That's zero. That is the definition of zero accountability. You're not even going to try a human being for killing another human being on camera. There's none of this, well, he did this, he did that. It's on camera.
Yeah.
And you're going to turn around and say, never mind, we're not even going to try him for anything. People get tickets for jaywalking and have to go to court. And this guy didn't get indicted for killing a human being on camera. And then the police officers have the audacity to turn their back on the mayor that suggested maybe that wasn't the right course of action. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that wasn't the right course of action.
You know. So what's next? You know, and this guy, he has only. What really gets me is that the mayor came out and said, "What? I had to have this conversation with my son."
Exactly.
That is not taking side. He has a biracial child.
Right.
Okay, you know, like, are you kidding me?
Absolutely. We got another area code 254 call coming in. Welcome to Anti-Media Radio. How you doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
Good. What would you like to talk about tonight?
I want to talk about the U.S. government funding Al-Qaeda.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy that I think that Al-Qaeda is the all the Taliban and stuff is just, it's ridiculous, I think.
Well, we've been funding terrorists for a while now. You know, like, I think.
Well, there's no I think to it. We have been, and we've been publicly funding the quote-unquote enemies
of Assad. Let's go there.
Oh, well, geez.
Let's go there. Let's not say Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, you've got Al-Qaeda, you've got
ISIS,
you've got the rebels in Syria. What did the rebels in Syria become? You know, they're sitting there, they've got Syrian gas that they're gassing these people with.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? Where did these people get it? And they're blaming it on Assad. So, absolutely, the caller is dead right. You know, we're funding our own terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia is committing the most horrible human rights violations, you know, in the world right now, but that's okay because they're driving the price. We're worried about the
gas prices, man.
Right.
I'm not too mad about the gas prices right now.
Let them hold out.
$2. You know.
But absolutely. But back to the caller. Yeah, tell us your thoughts on what you think about what's going on over there.
Well, I mean, I kind of have a couple more questions. I mean, it's just not about, like, the government funding, terrorist groups is also that I've been reading on your Facebook page that and I've been reading like newspapers, articles, and watching the news that that we send our U.S. troops over to fight Ebola, but really, why do you need troops on the ground? Why do you want to send anybody in a Ebola situation, where people can get the risk of getting it, and why risk our troops getting it?
Well, great point. But what you have to remember is that we are an empire that has troops stationed in over 130 countries around the world. So whatever excuse that they can have, whether it's Ebola, or whether it's ISIS, or whether there's some guy in Australia that stubbed his toe, we need to send troops there to take care of this. And they sell it to the Americans. Most of the time it's not even mentioned in the media, but when it is, they sell it to us as this is for our own good. This is going to keep you safe. There's a reason we have troops in 130 countries, because we love you so much. Now continue giving us 46% of your income. But yeah, any more questions?
And not just that, the Warriors, dude. They don't take care of troops.
No,
at all. And I'm sick and tired of seeing that commercial ran.
Absolutely, they use them and they throw them to the side. Which is sick.
And we're going up like, hey, another war's in place, I think. Probably World War III.
I mean, it looks like we're going there.
But thanks again, caller, man.
Yeah, just these thoughts are running through my head constantly because, the other thing is, like, you're putting American troops that probably don't even have, medical background besides the training they have to do to get ready for, circumstances that they do catch the virus, but they don't really have any medical, experience in the medical field to actually work in that environment. But there's a lot of speculation about the certain groups like Sierra Leone and that basically the U.S. is trying to gain territory in on all places of the world,
Oh, absolutely, and that's really what it is. It goes back to the point I made earlier about this is just about where we can stake our claim. That's it. It's where can we go next? What troops can we put there? You have to remember that again. They're saying it's for Ebola, or with Iraq, they're saying it's ISIS. We're upset because ISIS is beheading people. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia beheads people, and that's okay. Well, that's not mentioned. So it's always just some kind of storyline that they're telling us, just so you think it's for humanitarian reasons. We're the good guy. Don't worry about it. But it's really just empire building.
Yeah, and just like the Sony had. Now it's not North Korea. So what is there to believe?
As far as...
But it doesn't even... Who cares?
I think you should care that you're being lied to on a daily basis.
I'm talking about the hack itself,
It is what it is. It's something they blew out of proportion to make a news story out of. But thank you so much for your input, caller. Got another call coming in from area code 317. Welcome to the Anti-Media Radio. How you doing tonight? You there? Looks like we lost the call. But, yeah, absolutely. We're sitting here talking about the Sony hack. You made a great point a second ago about the Wounded Warriors Project and that whole situation.
That is... Have you seen that commercial?
About a billion times.
And, I just don't understand it.
Well,
why should, we have our troops coming home and not supporting them, and that they have to crowdfund?
Yeah, and they're committing suicides, like 22 suicides a day or something. Area code 416, welcome to Anti-Media Radio. How you doing tonight?
Lost that one too. Thanks again for calling in, caller. Try back again if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. But So yeah. So what we're dealing with is we're sending troops overseas, and we're basically, Lord knows what we're doing to them while we're over there, because they're coming back. You know, they've seen these. They're fighting these wars. They're getting over there, and they're realizing that they're not fighting for anything. They bring them back over here, and it's just like, good luck. Good luck with everything. So that there is a very large percentage. Granted, should they have been over there to fight to begin with? No, they shouldn't have been. They absolutely shouldn't have been. But how are you just going to use up somebody?
Well, they also use them up and giving them badges when they come over, when they come back home.
Yes, sir.
Come on, so because let's talk about it all. You know.
Yeah, that's absolutely happening too.
That is the problem.
Yeah. And they're sticking another gun in their hand and putting, instead of a camouflage uniform on them, they're going to put on a navy blue uniform and say, "Go patrol the streets now."
Yeah, so we was having me and some friends were having a conversation the other day, and it was about the militarization of the police departments here in America, and why should police departments have tanks?
They should,
and why is it that our government is not just giving them away, but they're giving them 1 and 2 to all municipalities around the country.
Right. And we're not supposed to have we're not supposed to have a standing army here in the United States, but that's out the window.
Yeah, I know, but just seeing it take place,
Well, look at these SWAT teams that go and bust in somebody's house, and there's been multiple occasions where they bust in the wrong people's house.
Yeah, like an incident that just happened over in Georgia.
Right. Yeah.
They killed that guy.
Yeah. So it's like...
And didn't find any drugs.
Oh, it happens over and over and over and over. And you're telling me that we need, like, this tactical SWAT team going out, and the argument is, well, they've got a dangerous job. They've got a dangerous job. Well, it's not even the top 10 most dangerous jobs in the country. You know what I'm saying? Being a professional athlete, a coach, or a referee is more dangerous statistically than being a cop. So,
but
if you don't believe that, look it up. Being an athlete is more dangerous.
And what what I'm waiting on is the Ezel Ford case, and I see that out in LA they've been pushing back the autopsy.
Oh,
I don't know if that has been revealed yet. But I see that people are taking stand still in LA and in Oakland. So it's so much going on.
Well, they put his cousin in jail.
Well, yeah, Sebo was arrested.
He's in jail.
Sentenced for 5 years.
It was longer than that.
It was longer than that.
Yeah, he got thrown away because he brought attention to the situation of his cousin getting killed for absolutely no reason. He made a couple of hip hop songs about it. Was garnering some attention really from around the country, and then boom, you got to go away. We're going to come up with some trumped up charge, doing Assange style, where whatever, gotta go. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and
they don't necessarily take, like, talking about, we were Dallas earlier. They don't necessarily have to take you out with a bullet anymore.
Yeah, they don't have to take you out.
They'll take you out, but it don't have to be driving through dealers.
And then profit, gain from it at the same time.
Absolutely, there's a lot of ways to take people out.
It's kind of sad, man, the state that we're in. But enough of the crying and the pitying. What do you think about the Keystone Pipeline? He is threatening to veto that deal.
I don't always agree with Obama, but I hope he does veto it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we know you don't agree with Obama. A lot of us don't,
But, I hope he does veto it. The only problem is, will they send it back through and get it through anyway? It's hard to say.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people taking a stand and saying, hey, we're not going to allow this.
Yeah, absolutely. Got another call, area code 917. Welcome to Anti-Media Radio. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to follow up on what you were saying about police, the NYPD, and also I think it was yesterday you had before closing you had asked a question about how can we I guess kind of replace the NYPD, and I feel like the whole purpose for the NYPD was to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. And what I feel like a lot of the laws did was they took away people's right to protect themselves by taking away, a lot of people's gun privileges, especially in cities like New York. New York.
Look at the statistics in Chicago. They've got some of the strictest gun laws in the country, and they've got the highest murder rate.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
And the deaths are like among teenagers.
Right.
Chicago is I love Chicago, and it's a lot. Chicago is a great place, but I can't say it's a lot of senseless killing there also.
Oh, absolutely. But back to your point.
I was saying, basically, I feel like in order to really cope with getting rid of the NYPD, like the police department, we would have to just let everyone have their own gun, because if everyone has their own gun, no one wants to mess with each other because they know that the next man's got a gun just like he does. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that does mean that, everyone is probably going to be, like, shooting each other left and right.
What's ironic is that law's already on the books, and it's the Second Amendment.
And not just that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I saw a scenario of this restaurant. So I seen this thing about, so when you say that, everyone should be armed and it'll be a safer place or whatever. But I saw a scenario down in the bayou in Louisiana where there was a restaurant giving like 10% off your tab if you carry your gun in the restaurant. And it was like everyone that entered this restaurant, they had their sidearms on. It was crazy. Never seen anything like it. But it is Louisiana also. So
well, yeah, but it makes sense because you're going to feel safe, because let's say there's one crazy person in there that wants to shoot up the place. Well, you got 3 more people in there that's got a gun on them. They're going to take care of the situation. You're going to have to wait 8 to 12 minutes for a cop to show up. The situation will be done in 30 seconds.
First of all, no one is going to walk in, where everyone is carrying a gun. I don't think so.
Right, absolutely. No. Hey, thank you so much for your call tonight.
No problem.
Got another call coming in from area code 541. Welcome to Anti-Media Radio. How you doing this evening?
Great.
What would you like to talk about tonight?
I'd like to talk about how I don't like Obama.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, but yeah, man, as far as the police state goes and that whole situation. So, what do you think? Is there a cure-all for this? Is it the laws? Is it the people?
I think the people, we just gonna have to say what we want and what we don't want, and what we're gonna allow and what we're not gonna allow. And what we're not going to allow.
I think that's happened already. I think these protests around the country have done that.
But we need to run more major campaigns on talking to our leaders that support these guys. Hey.
Well, what happens? Look at de Blasio. He's technically an elected leader that spoke out for the people, and what happened?
Well, and not even the chief of police. Like, which side is he taking?
Well,
and you have to say this. I don't know what type of laws, like how they have, what kind of relations they have between the chief of police and the mayor of the city in New York, but I think that things could be handled like kind of different.
Well, I would say they could be handled extremely different. Hey, here's one, for instance. Let's not kill people in broad daylight that are unarmed and not fighting back.
I'm talking about within disciplinary actions.
Right, they're not holding people accountable, and that is so. There would not be. Look, it would not there would not be protests in the streets right now if all these exact same murders had happened, okay? And these cops had killed these unarmed people, but every single one of these cops would have been indicted for something and put on trial for something. We wouldn't be seeing the same outrage.
Well,
people are upset because there's zero justice.
Yeah, but I'm talking about it's a continuing thing. Like, we've been talking about this for months, and we've seen kid after kid get shot down.
Right, or choked out. Right.
You know, so what's next?
But look, okay, you heard about the story this week, the Air Force veteran. This goes back to how you're treating your veterans and cops.
Yes.
You got a guy, his house is burning down, and his dog's inside. He wants to go in there and save his dog.
Yeah.
And the cops aren't letting him in.
He was really emotional.
He was which anybody would be, and he's trying to get in there. They don't want to let him in there. I think his name was Samuel E. Bassett, something along those lines.
Yeah, Samuel Bassett.
And he's trying to get in there to save his dog in Chicago. And so it gets heated. They don't want to let him in. So he punches the cop in the face, and he goes away for a few different charges, of course.
But
the man's house is burning down.
Yes, man. I'm like,
and you're going to get rough with him. Now, I think we may disagree on this. For me, that's the man's personal property.
Yeah.
It may be, you know what, it may be stupid. I get it.
Yeah, but
if he wants to run in there,
stop him from running in, but don't arrest him.
No, absolutely
he's
not.
upset. He's emotional. You know,
the last thing that should have happened is him. You know what?
The last thing that should have happened was him getting arrested.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's the last thing that should have happened. But see, and here's another thing. He gets arrested because he punched a cop in the face, right? that cop's just another human being like anybody else. What if that was his buddy down the street? Was he going to get all those? You know, they want to make it a hate crime. The police unions want to make it a hate crime.
But you have to
go
we
with a cop.
we can't have cops hitting on citizens. We can't have citizens hitting on cops.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
But I don't think the guy should have been arrested. There's other ways that. You know,
no, he should have been.
Could have handled that situation. The guy was highly emotional. His
house is burning down. His dog's about to die, which the dog did die.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens. With that one. You know, they probably. Guess what? They may suspend the cop for that.
For what? For arresting the guy?
Yes, that's how backwards they are. Think about it. Just think about it. I'm like. Hey,
I'm with you, but
suspend the guy for arresting the guy that house is burning down, whose dog died.
Well, I doubt that'll happen. I remember we had the conversation on this show. It was maybe our first night on the air, and Eric Garner was coming out the next day, and you were like, "Oh, God, they're gonna indict that guy. Oh, they're gonna indict that guy."
Dude, I really believed that they was going.
And I was like, "All right,
I was pretty shocked.
We'll see.
I was pretty shocked.
Oh yeah. It's by far,
and now
because of the video evidence. There's nothing to argue.
And I have doubt in the Rice case. Really, doubt.
In what way? They're gonna indict that cop.
They will not indict that cop.
I don't think they will. You know what?
Crawford.
I don't think anybody. I don't think it's gonna happen. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but. I don't see it happening. Area code 503. Welcome to Anti-Media Radio. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. What would you like to talk about tonight?
You guys don't have screeners? Hey, I just wanted to, I'm just logged in. I just kind of portaled in through Facebook. I love your guys' Facebook presence. You guys are doing a good job with that.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So just based on just what I kind of see, the tone of your guys' Facebook posts. What are your guys' background? Are you guys necessarily the two guys that are behind the page?
There's quite a few different people that work on it. We've got a large conglomerate from really around the world.
Okay, so who are you two guys? Do you guys know each other?
No, we've never met each other.
So what I mean by that is, what's your guys' connection to each other to be on doing a podcast?
No, we've never met. What's your name?
I'm Brian. Just one of your Facebook
Great.
likes.
Fantastic, Brian.
Yeah,
Tell us more about yourself, Brian.
I listen to a lot of talk radio, like a lot of comedy stuff. Like I listen to the O&A show and Howard Stern and stuff. I just like this as a format, kind of an uncensored format that we get to get exposed to nowadays on the internet.
So
It's less like talking. It's less talking down to your audience and more like a level playing field where you can just pretty much say what you want and
Absolutely.
say stuff that isn't necessarily politically correct.
Oh, absolutely.
What are your guys' names?
My name is SM Gibson.
And I'm Dedric Young. You can follow us on Twitter, man, and we appreciate you following the page.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah,
you guys just came out of the blue, and like all your posts are really good, and you guys seem to be doing your research really well. So I like it. I like it a lot.
I very much appreciate the call, Brian. You have a good evening.
Hey, good luck to you guys.
Thanks, buddy.
So,
thanks, Brian, for the call in, man.
So you don't think there's going to be an indictment on Tamir Rice? I don't.
I'm willing to bet on that one.
Sadly, I am too.
I guess we're just going to have to keep marching.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what do they think is going to happen? When it's okay to kill a 12-year-old with a BB gun, you think that's going to die down?
I don't think it's dying down. I
No,
don't think
it's not
we have
dying
seen.
down. Finally, people are waking up.
Yes, a lot of people are waking up, and it's going to take more of us getting involved. But
I still don't get how there are not cops on the front line of these protests.
I'm waiting on that.
I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I think they're highly afraid.
Well, of course they are. They're being intimidated. There's probably no telling how they're being intimidated. I mean, you can go back to the Oklahoma City bombing and look at Terrence Yakey, who was putting together evidence of that whole situation. First responders saved 8 people out of the Oklahoma City building, the Freddie Muir building, and suicide by beating himself to death with handcuffs on, and then shot himself in the back of the head. I mean, give me a break. And so, you think any other Oklahoma City cops coming out and talking after that? No, it's all intimidation.
You're right, but I think they have so many people fooled, but
I think people are waking up finally. I think this is, the Great Enlightenment is happening.
Well, some of the rednecks in the South are not waking up. You got to say, you still have people in Mississippi that's poured in dirt, still voting for the GOP. But like they say, hey,
and what are they going to do? Vote for the Democrats?
Well, not just that. But look, this the deal with any man. I think some, but some people can say this: you take any poor white man, right, and make him feel that he's better than any rich black man. You can conquer the world if you can.
Yeah, they've been saying absolutely.
So, and that goes for any.
That's how they control people. That's it. And here's the thing.
And to relate to that, you could tie that into the police departments also.
And here's the thing. And this is a funny thing with race to me. It's like, let's pretend for a second everybody on the planet was the exact same race, okay? Mm-hmm. Do people think, because everybody cries, well, this was racist, this was racist, this was racist. Do you think if everybody on the planet was the exact same race, that people wouldn't be getting crapped on all over the place? They'd find somebody. And you know what? It may be your hair color, it may be where you're from. It would be something. Oh, yes. They would find something. So
but it's not about race.
No, it's not about race, because there will be some poor people in some projects somewhere with the exact same skin color as you.
Let's talk about the thousands of children that's not fed every day in America.
Right, absolutely.
Let's talk about the in poverty.
Well, look, people say, look, how many people met for years? I think it's more of from our grandparents' generation. People made Polish jokes about people from Poland. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's one of those things. It's somebody's going to find a difference in somebody, whatever that difference is, to make themselves feel a little bit better about themselves. It's funny to me, we may have mentioned this before, but the Dave Chappelle show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do you really think that guy just said, $50 million, I'm going to walk away from that, peace out. I'm going to go hang out after 2 weeks, come back and move to my farm in Ohio? Or do you think that because humor brings people together, okay? And there's this show happening, and he's making fun of these differences in cultures of people's races and saying, oh, fried chicken this, or white people are, they're stuck up in this. And people were laughing at the differences. And they're like, oh, this isn't such a big deal. There's nothing to... Right, everybody watched it. And it's like, oh, this stuff's silly. Like, let's just laugh about our cultural differences, and let's just all be together. Like, this ain't a big deal. There's nothing to be upset about here. Let's just laugh. Yeah. And then, oh, no, you can't have that because you need to have division. You have to have people divided in one way, shape, or form. And that was the exact polar opposite of that. You're bringing people together saying, you're really not that different. Stuff's not that big of a deal.
We are all the same.
Right, we're all human beings. Whether you're wearing a cop uniform, whether you've got brown skin, black skin, white skin, whatever it is, we're all the same. We're all human beings. But they want division. They want division.
So I have a question for you, Sam.
Yeah.
So, like, what are the things that you want to see this year happen? Or what's the changes that you want to see partake on this year, in 2015? Because
I think
we can go back last year, and it was hectic.
It was. I tell you, one of the biggest things I would like to see is, unfortunately, I hate to make this prediction, but at some point in 2015, with somebody that's out there listening to us tonight, or somebody out there, they're going to lose their son or their daughter to a police officer, and their son or their daughter is going to be unarmed. That's going to happen at some point in the next 359 days now to the end of the year. And I want to see that police officer held accountable for what they do. I don't want to see any more of this, oh, but they're wearing a certain set of clothes. Don't worry about it. They're wearing some clothes that says it's okay for them to kill people.
Okay. Well, outside of the police,
I would really like to see a large group of people. We've got the thing coming up on January 31st. Take a stand and say, we don't want this torture happening anymore. I would love to see that, but it's so clandestine what they're doing. It's going to be hard to hold any of that accountable. Not necessarily third party, but the people that they're shoving down your throats, that's going to be your next leaders. Nobody wants any of those people. With Mitt Romney, nobody wanted that dude. Nobody did, but they just shoved him down your throat, shoved him down your throat, shoved him down your throat. They're basically already telling us it's going to be Bush and Clinton. Nobody wants that. I want to see the people stand up for whatever it is they believe in, whether it's cops, whether it's political system, whether it's torture, whether it's war. People need to get out of their houses and walk down to the street corner and say, you know what, I'm sick of this. You're spending my tax dollars on this. I'm tired of it. Like, we all have to come together, talk to your neighbors about this situation, talk to your friends about this, put it on Facebook. If you make some people mad, you know what? They weren't really your friends to begin with, because it's a belief you have as a human being. Whether you disagree with somebody does not mean that you should just not be friends with them. Okay? We all have internal thoughts and feelings. So what needs to happen is we need to take a stand in whatever you believe in and vocalize it. Preach it to the world, because it's the people that allowing this stuff to continue. What you have to do is speak out. And they say, well, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. BS. That's completely untrue. Because you know what? It doesn't matter who you vote for. We're here in the state of Alabama. You know what? I could have voted for Barack Obama last election. I could have voted for my left toe. It doesn't matter. My vote was going to go to Romney because of the Electoral College. Never forget that the richest and the most money has won every single presidential election ever. Right. Thank you so much for the show. Join us again.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.